Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to the rebranding first episode of what I normally refer to as Lunch with Flimsy. Now we're going to call the Lunch Line. And I totally have to give credit to my NA clan commander who some years ago said, oh, you should have done the Lunch Line instead. If I remember that correctly, maybe he'll comment and say, no, I said this. In that case, we'll just retitle the video and put a new thumbnail in. But welcome to the first episode of the Lunch Line. Basically, I want to try to do these not every week, but somewhat more regular. For those of you who are a little more, I don't know, I per se, invested in following the journey here in World of Warships, or you want to just get to know me a little bit better. So I think this is what we're going to start doing now through the Lunch Line here on YouTube today. So we're going to be talking about where the heck have I been the past week, some of my international travels, Denmark, Germany, also a little bit of some fun family history research I've been doing. And we're going to talk about an electronics store in Denmark called ProShop, so buckle in for that one. And then I'm going to talk about the 2,000 subscriber giveaway, because we're getting close to 2,000 subscribers. So all that in today's episode. So first off, let's talk about, and I'll chapter it below as well. But let's talk about where the heck have I been? Well, I have been away on a work trip. I have been gone for 9 days. I left Friday before last, and then I just returned back to Norway yesterday. Sunday evening, as I record this video now on Monday, and basically went through Denmark and Germany. So actually ended up driving down to southern Germany, where I had a 3-day work conference. My work relates working with internationals. In that respect, I don't tend to hit too much details on that, but I work with internationals mainly is what my job relates to here in Norway. And so they had this gathering for several days, so I got to see a lot of friends who are also doing some international work in different parts of the world. So it was really cool seeing them. It's been a while since I've seen some of my good close friends, so I was meaning to record a video and throw it up on YouTube from my phone, just saying, hey, no content this week. So I do sincerely apologize. I didn't really say anything. I took off mainly because the week before this past week I was working day and night. I had work in the morning, afternoon, and then I had meetings that would occur in the evening. So on Tuesday that week, I had 7 meetings in one day. And then I had no time to sit down and prepare any content before Mrs. Flimsy and I departed that Friday evening and driving down to Denmark and Germany. But so let's talk a little bit more about just, I guess, chapter 2, driving in Denmark and Germany. That was fun. I've never been in Denmark before. I have been in Germany once before. I've been in southern Germany a while. Oh gosh, maybe back in 2017 or 2018. I can't remember which. And was really impressed. As more down around the Stuttgart area. But let's talk about getting there. So Mrs. Flimsy and I, we have a Toyota Yaris, so we actually drove that down and took the ferry between Kristiansand and, I do not know how to pronounce the name of this town. I should have looked before I started recording, but I didn't think of it. The ferry connects into Denmark, and I think it's called Hirtshals, something like that. And then drove all the way from northern Denmark through southern Denmark and then into Germany. So that was my first experience ever driving also on the Autobahn. Now, I know they say Denmark's pretty flat, which it is. It's kind of this little bit of a rolling landscape. The highest point, I don't know if they said it was only 300 meters. It's Edger something. And I know I pronounced that wrong. It's this tower, brick tower on a hill. So got to see not too much from there because it was raining, the view. But then driving through Denmark was really nice, pretty relaxing. And then when we drove from between Denmark into Germany, when we crossed the border line, that messed with me so much because instantly it's the Autobahn there was no speed limit. So they had lowered us down to, I think, like 80 or 60 kilometers an hour on, was it E45 when you're going transitioning from Denmark into Germany. And so all the cars are going slow around me. And the next minute I look, it's like, wait, where did all the cars that were just around me go? Because they hit the Autobahn and no speed limit there for that section. So that was really cool, driving. And I think the highest I got was probably about 162 kilometers an hour, but mainly was saying about 140, 130. You'd be going to overtake a slower car or like a semi or RV motorhome, and then you're like, okay, it's clear for me to pass in this far left lane, because when you're driving in Germany or on the Autobahn, you can only pass in the left lane. You should not pass in the right lane. So I was like, okay, I have time. I could pass. There's no one in my rearview mirror that's coming up in the left lane. Then I get out there and I'm halfway passing the semi, and I look up and then there's like, 2 Porsches like right there ready to go. So it kind of spooks you because, a minute, feet like 10, 15 seconds ago, they weren't there and now they're right there. So that was cool. So basically, you kind of transitioning to the third point. Why we ended up driving rather than just flying is we wanted to take some time coming back to Norway, since there wasn't a rush to get back here, and do some family history digging, actually. So I have, on my mother's side, both her grandfather, her grandfather, both of his parents have German descent. I think that's how it worked. Or her dad's side of it. So my grandfather has German background heritage on both sides within the family. Can't remember, or maybe it was my grandfather and my grandmother, but I think that's how it goes. They both had German ancestry. So actually, it's all around there in southern Germany. I didn't know that till I started looking more into it this year, north of the Stuttgart area. And then the other line comes from just north of Mannheim, northwest of Stuttgart, in Worms, Germany. So that is a really beautiful city with just, I feel like, a very rich history. I was very impressed. I wasn't sure. I didn't do too much looking into the city itself before going. And I wasn't looking to try to find if I had any relatives in the area, because a lot of them had moved over in 1816. To the U.S. Some went to the East Coast, and then others went, I think, spread out through Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. But Worms, wow, what a beautiful, nice city in Germany. It was just so pleasant walking around there. We went to the St. Peter Cathedral. I believe it is. Yeah, it's a cathedral. It was really nice. Went and saw the Martin Luther monument. I didn't have time. We were walking to go to the oldest Jewish cemetery in Europe is there in Worms. So we were walking all the way over there, and we ended up stopping at a cafe. But there's also a city museum where I think they had some things from like the 13th century in there, and we didn't have enough time to go in there. And then we went and looked at the monument. We looked at some of the older buildings and just walking around the city. Just really nice and pleasant. And then we actually went out. There's a cemetery on what would that be? The west side of Worms. The really large, it is massive. And basically was walking around there seeing if I had the last name within the family history, which is like several name changes from what my last name is now, to see if there was any names on the gravestones there. So the last name would be Reisner, is what we were looking at. And Mrs. Films and I, we walked all over the cemetery. We didn't see any there, but it was really interesting, because then you begin to wonder, okay, did most of them move to the U.S.? There were some that stayed behind from what I've understood in my research, but did they stay there in Worms, or did they move to a different part of Germany before they passed away? So there's a lot of questions there, and it looks like they had been working on redoing some of the graves there as well. But then walking over to, I think it's the north side of the cemetery, they have a place there for soldiers from World War I and World War II, German soldiers. So then I was like, wait, if if I had any men in my ancestry line and they were here in Germany at that time, they would have had to have fought in the World War I and World War II. So I looked at those gravestones that they had there. I didn't have any there, but my sister's husband, I found a name there, and then also I found another last name, not in the war areas of her husband. And so I sent that to his family and said, hey, do you have any German heritage in there and whatnot? So I think they're going to do some looking into that. It was just really cool. It was really quiet and just being respectful walking throughout there. And also the same with the Jewish cemetery, excuse me. I'm not sure how it works for the woman, but for the men or myself, we were about to walk in and didn't know, but if you were to walk in, like at least for me, I needed to cover my head with a hat or like a ball cap or something, as there was kind of a guard that was off to the side, and so I had a toboggan. I don't know if there's another different English word for that in European English. So I put that on. We walked around and it has a beautiful view of just going into the city, but particularly of the St. Peter Cathedral. There's a really beautiful spot to stand from. And it was such a great day and weather. So it was really cool. Then defeated multiple things there, so definitely want to go back to Worms again, because it was a very beautiful city, I will have to say. It was like in the 50s, the sun was out, hardly any clouds. So yeah, there's this truly a really nice city. So I have some more family history digging to do, and apparently one of our my ancestors was also, I don't know if I should use the word famous or just use the word renowned Egyptologist. So that was cool. So I apparently there's a book out on him now, and I need to inquire about this book, buy it, and see what all is in it about said person. So it's really cool, especially I now know I'm not an American who says, well, I'm American, but I'm actually German, right? Because that's like 4 or 5 generations back, something like that. No, like I truly understand that I am American, I don't have any cultural connection only through my ancestors who moved over to the US back in early 1800s. But it is really cool when you start connecting and seeing when did your family move over. And I'd say the Midwest, like Illinois, well, Illinois is definitely flatter than Germany, but like Indiana, Ohio, I can understand why there was actually a lot of Germans moved around the Indianapolis area, or just throughout Indiana in general. There's a lot of Germans that did come to Indiana, and I can see the connection there. Where like there's a lot of Norwegians, like we've been doing ancestry research on Mrs. Flimsy, and she actually has Norwegian heritage from. Wait, I'm wondering if I'm going to say the county wrong. Shoot, okay, I gotta look this up. Counties in Norway. I think is it the Telemark? Yeah, Telemark. She has ancestry there. We actually met her relatives last summer there, so that was really cool, really special there. I think there were some that moved to the U.S. I think around the mid 1850s, but like a lot of them, my point with that, why I brought that up, is that they went like Wisconsin, they go to the Dakotas, Minnesota, up, whereas maybe somewhat more similarities to Norway in terms of the climate and stuff. So that's just cool. So it is cool to go back and just see how far you can trace your heritage through. So, continuing on. So, as we were going to be driving back through Germany, through the remainder of Germany, I didn't even talk about the Panzer Tank Museum. Yeah, I talk about the Panzer Tank Museum. I'll throw some pictures up on the screen, I hope. There is a German Panzer Tank Museum just southeast of Hamburg, Germany. And on Friday? Was it Friday? Yeah, Friday, Mrs. Flims and I went there, and that was so cool. They have so many tanks. Like, I did not know they had that many tanks there. I thought maybe they had like 10, 15. I'm pretty sure, I mean, even including the other armored fighting vehicles they had and stuff, they probably had over 50, if not like 70, 80. Yeah, had probably up more like that. Probably more the high end of what I've just said. So we got there like an hour, this hour 15 minutes before they were to close. So we walked through really fast, but I took a lot of pictures. So it's cool seeing, you know, they had some tanks from the Soviet Union. They had several American tanks. They had the Sherman. They had the M60 Patton. They had, I don't know if there's another American tank they had. They had a Merkava from Israel. They had some tanks from the People's Republic Army. I think that's how you say it for China. And just a lot of German tanks. So that was just really cool. And I think the two that were probably my favorite, there was, first was the Storm Tiger. It's basically a tank that is wildly inaccurate. And I need to, I'm trying to pull up the picture on my phone because I think I took a picture of the plaque next to it. Yeah, the 38 centimeter Sturm Morso Tiger, or Sturm Tiger. So it has a 380 millimeter gun on it. So basically a 15-inch gun. And I wanted to see what type of munition it was. Yeah, it's a rocket launcher. It's the RW61L 5.4 rocket launcher with a 7.92 millimeter machine gun, and naked munition was 14 rounds. This crew of 5. Developed in 1943, production was 1944 through 45, and they only built looks like 18 of them. So my understanding is that they were to deal more with infantry in cities. Storm Tiger was a heavy assault gun vehicle intended for urban warfare. The Storm Tiger was based on damaged Tiger models that were reused for this purpose. The turret and upper part of the hull were replaced by a fixed superstructure with 150 millimeter front armor. Design allowed that vehicle to be fitted with a Rackented Werfer 61 rocket launcher, which had a range of 5,700 meters. This is a variant of the Werfergott 38 centimeter. A depth charge launcher from the Kriegsmarine, the German Navy, which had been modified for the Army. The weapon's original purpose had been to sink submarines. So it's kind of like the designation they gave it was a mortar, because of the resemblance to the heavy mortars from World War I, even though their technical principle had been completely different. So, yeah. So it's wildly inaccurate. I think I had read something online where they had tried to, there's a couple of these tanks were trying to destroy a bridge, but they were missing. And then the other favorite tank, or I shouldn't say tank, it should be an armored fighting vehicle. I hope I get that one right, is the Gepard. So they actually have the Gepard, the 1A2 there. I had no idea that they had it there. It says that they built 436 of them, which basically has 35 millimeter L/60 twin aircraft guns. So it was an AA platform. Production was 1976 to 1980, and it would have a crew of 3. And it has, let's see, it's a self-propelled anti-aircraft gun. So I have it in Armored Warfare, and so that was a fun connection there, because I quite like the Gepard a lot. So I was really excited to see that AFV when the Kampfpanzer Leopard, I read the wrong note on my phone, because I also got to look at the Leopard 1A5, which was also cool seeing the Leopard tanks there. But the Gepard was a surprise to see there, because I didn't know they had it there. So got some souvenirs, and then let's talk about the ProShop experience in Denmark. So I don't know if I have much of a Danish audience, so when I talk about ProShop, you probably know what I'm talking about. But I am in the process of building a new PC, and I hope to finish it probably May or June. As I have most everything, but I need the case, I need the the cooler for the CPU, and a couple of fans. Yeah, case, cooler, fans, and I think there was one more thing. Power supply unit, yeah. So that's the last things I need to get, where I have everything else I got in the US. So let's talk about ProShop. And this is, I'm not dissing ProShop. I'm going to critique ProShop, and I'm going to be talking, sending an email and making a recommendation to make it easier for buyers, such as myself, who try to drop in and can't buy any of their products. And you may wonder what the heck. So let me talk about ProShop. So ProShop is mainly, they're an online retail store, so I do recognize that. They mainly do online. But from a look on Google Maps, if I understand correctly, they have 2 locations, one in far eastern Denmark and then the other on the eastern, like, main part of Denmark. I don't know if it's like Aarhus or something like that. So anyhow, there was this Lian Li case I'm wanting to buy. I'm wanting to buy the Lian Li 011D RGB case. And so I told Mrs. Flimsy, like, because I looked at Case King in Germany, but they're all the way in Berlin, and we weren't going to drive through Berlin. And it was just really out of the way to do that. I said, so let's just go to ProShop in Denmark, because they have them. Now, I recognize because they mainly offer the showcase themselves as an online retailer. But when I had looked on Google Maps and I looked, what I could understand of their store there in Denmark was that you could, there was customer parking. You could come in and you could pick up an order you had made, this, that, and the other, as an example. So I thought, well, it shouldn't be too difficult. I should just be able to drop right in, buy the PC case, and on our way. So I have to deal with like shipping to Norway, worry about something we broken in shipping, or pay different type of MUMS tax or MVA. I remember, because it's just cheaper to buy PC components and stuff outside of Norway. Basically, anything's cheaper outside of Norway. Not everything, but generally speaking. So anyhow, I go into the store, and they have several areas. They have one is like, you've already made the order, go to this kiosk and click that you're here, put in your order number or whatever, and you walk over to this other place, and then they come out and call your name or number or whatever. Then they had this other, if you haven't ordered, like, you can order and you can pick up here in the store. So you go over there. So I go online, I'm on the Danish domain website, pick out the case, go to, being a customer, this, that, and the other, and that I want to pick up in. But I had to put in my customer information, at least when I understood, because Norwegian Danish isn't too far different. And then I was putting in my address, and then I couldn't put in Norway. So on the Denmark website, I think the country can be the Greenland, the Faroe Islands, or Denmark. I can't put Norway in. It isn't in the drop list. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. I'll just you go to the very bottom of the website, and then you click land or like country, and you can change. So I change it to the Norwegian domain website. So again, I pick out the case, I put in my personal information, and I go to delivery. I want to change it, right? Because right now it's going to deliver to my home here in Norway. And so when I went to change delivery, I wanted to change it where I could pick up in the store. Like, I'm here, I want to get it now. Well, apparently, unless you're on the Denmark website, on all their other ones, which they think they have Sweden, Finland, Germany, Norway, I think the Netherlands, I think, is another one. You cannot, there's no option for in-store pickup. And I understand why that would be, because they probably don't expect someone to just order something online from Germany and say, I want to come pick it up in your store, or from Norway, and I'm going to come pick it up in your store. Like, I get that, right? But in my case, I was the anomaly that broke the system. So I was very annoyed that, I'm here. There's, I think, like 15 of these cases in the back of the store, and I can't buy. I can't buy one through the online. So I'm like, okay, I don't understand. So I go over, and they have the third, or their fourth main area in the store, was the customer service, right? So I go in line, I wait a little bit, I get up there, and I'm kind of annoyed at this point, because I'm like, wait, the only way I'm able to buy the case I want to get now here in the store and take it home with me today is if I I need to have a Danish address in the system. So I get up there, I'm talking with him. I explained I'm new to the store. I wasn't like salty or anything walking with him. I understand I'm an international. I'm not used to how exactly the store operates and functions and so forth. And no, the only way I'm going to be able to buy the case in the store today is if I maybe have a Danish friend. I can call him and use his address in it, and then still should be able to use my Norwegian payment setup to be able to buy the PC case. And I have a Danish friend, but he lives in Norway now. He married a Norwegian lady, and I know he's got family there, but I don't know if he's working, if he's even available. And I'm just really annoyed. I've come all the way to the store, or I'm driving through on my way back to Norway, and all I want to do is buy a PC case, right? No, I can't do that. I need to have use a Danish address. So I was pretty mad at that point. I mean, I didn't really show. It was internal anger, but when I came out to the car, Mrs. Flimsy, I had a bit of a mouth of a sailor for a minute because I was just so annoyed. Like, I'm at your store and I'm not able to buy the case, your product. I'm here as a buyer wanting to buy you, the sellers, the products that you have in your store. Because Lee and Lee, they don't have, I don't think, any main electronics store venues in Norway, at least when I looked on the Lee and Lee website. So that's why I was even looking at Case King or ProShop in Denmark. Now the other thing, which is dumb, which I also understand, is they don't have like a cash register in their store. They're an online retailer. You can come in and pick up your stuff, but they're not set up to where you come in and shop. So maybe I need to say that. Everything's in the back of the warehouse. I didn't mention this before. And you just have like this large room where you initially come in where they have the different areas in your store. So they don't have a cash register system where you can say, hey, I'm here. Can I just buy it, pick it up today? Here's the item number from your website. I'm wanting it in the black, great, we'll go in the back, buy it or get it, bring it out, and you can just pay here at the cash register. They don't do that. Okay, I understand one reason why they don't do that, because they're an online retailer. They're not set up to function that way. But what I was most annoyed about is the fact that, let's say I'm coming through Denmark and I just want to pick up my PC components rather in person, I cannot use the pickup store option on the Norwegian domain website, let alone the Germans, Swedes, this, that, and the other. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to be sending them an email, probably, I don't know if I'll call them, probably an email, just kind of politely explaining, one, here's the situation that was really frustrating for me as a customer, a buyer willing to come in, already want to buy products, and I was not able to because of how your website is set up, and that it's not set up for customers to come in the store and just buy something. Like, I get that, but at least the website really needs to have an in-store pickup option, even if I'm not in Denmark and I'm shopping through the German or the Swedish or Norwegian domain website. Okay, so, and then secondly is basically I want to just offer two options to them to consider if they would like. One, hey, can you just put it on your Norwegian domain website or in your others? Like, you can change your delivery option to in-store pickup, have like a red text note there that says, please note, pickup is only available at our, let's say they have 2 store locations, pickup is only available at our 2 store locations in Denmark. And then you choose those, which of the stores you want to pick it up, right? And you could put that in weather lettering, have it in English, have it in, German, Norwegian, this, that, and the other. And then, would you ever consider just having this little cash register there in the store? And I think the reason why they don't want to do that probably is they just don't want people coming in and overwhelm the workers when they're more set up as an online retail facility. So I understand that one, but at least have it set up where someone's just passing through from, like myself, from Norway while I'm coming through. Hey, let me just order at your store and choose the pickup option here at your store in Denmark, so I don't have to worry about delivery and all that and having to be home for it or paying additional monies for delivery. So that was annoying, to say the least. So, and then thirdly is I just want them to tell me, hey, we're really interested in this, we're going to implement the change on the website, or B, they're just like, no, we're not going to do either of these. Because I want to work with them, I want to do business with them. But I told my Danish friend, and he was very unhappy. Like he's already messaged them. He's already given them a written response before myself. So, gosh dang, this video is over 3 minutes long. Lastly, the 2,000 subscriber giveaway. So we are getting close to 1,900 subscribers. Awesome, great, thank you to those of you who continue to support the channel, subscribe, and follow along. And I just know for myself, if I don't start working on it now, I'm gonna miss it and I'm gonna end up being behind on it. So I just want to just briefly talk about that. There will be a 2,000 subscriber giveaway. I don't know what all we'll be giving away just yet, but there will be one. We'll do some streams. We can do an EU stream. We can do a North American stream. I'll be giving away, probably I'll do again, is I'll give away a ship. Maybe I'm going to give 2 or 3 ships away, some doubloons. Yeah, it will at least be 3 people will win. If not, maybe 4, maybe 5. I don't know. So we will definitely do a 2,000 subscriber giveaway. Is this a way of me showing appreciation? And that's also, if you're wondering, so those of you who support me on Patreon, the Patreon support is, I think they only have 2 designated purposes for it. One is that it goes right back into you guys, the viewers, subscribers, and that I would use those funds for like giveaways, giving away a ship, doubloons, things like that. And then the other would be if like I'm using a little bit of those funds to purchase a PC component or something like that. Now I haven't used any of the funds because actually I have to look at my account. I don't even know how much money is on the Patreon account, but we have several Patreon supporters, so I haven't used any of those funds. But it would be my 2 designated purposes in mind is it's for the channel, it's for the giveaways, and it's for being able to reinvest in getting more equipment. Like I think the newest thing I have is the Stream Deck, and it's amazing. It's so helpful when I'm streaming. So it's going back in for you guys. So look for that coming very soon. I'll have more details on that when the time approaches, but for now, just talking about that, we will be doing a 2,000 subscriber giveaway, and I'm very thankful to you all in the community for being on this YouTube journey with me over the last, I've been doing this since 2020. I think we started fall 2020. So 3.5 years we've been doing the YouTube gig now. Yeah, been playing World of Warships for over 4.5 years roughly. So yeah, and more Armored Warfare content, of course, to add in there when possible. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap the video up. Thanks for joining the first official episode of the Lunch Line. I quite like it, and Doom's going to demand that I pay him a 20% royalty fee, or he's going to be like, you scallywag, of course it's going to be 50%. Not kidding. But I'm not going to monetize these videos. I think it's for the community, it's for you guys, so these videos won't be monetized. So with that being said, if you liked today's video, give a thumbs up. If you didn't, give a thumbs down. Subscribe if you want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. I would appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time. And as always, thank you to my Patreon supporters. Sometimes I forget to say that, but no, I'm always thankful. So until next time, take care.